Hey people, welcome to my top 25 supernatural anime. I understand and aware that there are perhaps a lot more better shows out there, however I unfortunately haven't watched all the supernatural anime out there in existence, so my sincere apologies for not watching enough to your own personal liking. So smack that like button now and let the video commence. Zettai Karen Children was one of those anime that I would have never watched had I known it was a spin-off prior to watching it. In this case, I'm so glad I didn't take notice till much further on, as the show's concept was most definitely similar to X-Men, except not as complex and long-winded. The story revolves around two characters, Hyoba Kyosuke, the one Esper who has pretty much mastered the power of telekinesis amongst other powers, and we have a bloke called Andy who can negate any Esper's abilities under certain circumstances with that eye of his. The character development in this is pretty damn fantastic. As a newcomer to this particular series, I felt eased in and interested in the backstory of Hyoba Kyosuke as well as Andy. And the scale of Kyosuke's abilities are overwhelming to say the least, as we get a clear demonstration that he can potentially fuck up this whole world if he wanted to. So for the love of God, try this anime out yourself, and heck, also try the parent story if you need more depth than what Zettai Karen Children can offer. With Gamiga, it's definitely up there with top comedy anime I've seen, especially how the show has this dark humor lurking around. It's definitely interesting to say the least. The show is all about Sakura Ichiko, a girl who has it all except for company. We then have our counterpart, the antagonist Momiji, the poverty god who has come down to earth to restore the balance of happiness energy, as our protagonist Ichiko has subconsciously drained everyone else's positive energy, hence why the imbalance. So throughout the series, you'll see Momiji chasing after Ichiko using various new gadgets and situations to get Ichiko to willingly offer her happiness energy to save others in desperate situations where she is left no other choice. The anime for the most part is entertaining in the sense of its slapstick comedy, and offers that balance of its serious nature when it comes to the story. Bimbo Gamiga is definitely a fantastic supernatural anime to watch if you are looking to kick back to something silly and fun. Claymore was most certainly a difficult anime to assess on whether it was a better action anime than its supernatural and adventure counterpart. Personally, I feel that this show is definitely an intriguing one at that. If you love gore and have an interest in mythical beasts slaying monsters that can go disguised as humans, the premise of Claymore is for sure an interesting one. We have humans coexisting with these predators called Yoma that go out feasting on humans whilst being able to cleverly disguise themselves as any fellow human being. Therefore, it is left up to this organization to act as the counterforce and send out these claymores who are half-breeds that are in cross between human and Yoma, making them the perfect candidate for annihilating them. The story follows through the eyes of Claire, who is the lowest ranked claymore of the whole organization at rank 47, and this random kid that just gets in the way of the seriousness of the show. But do not let that get you down, as the show caters to those that like to escape into that fantasy medieval-like setting with a shit ton of gore. Amatora, done by the same creator as Bloodland, takes a turn at giving a minority number of people powers called minims, and then calling the individuals that hold them minimum holders. The story itself follows Nice and Murasaki in particular as they take on requests by people at the headquarters at a cafe. I know, right? How badass is that? The story goes on like this for a good 5 or 6 episodes, and then an overarching story develops where the main villain Moral comes into the picture and fucks everything up, leaving the first season on a cliffhanger. Unfortunately, a second season came along to finish the story up. Shinrai Tantai Yakumo is one of the few ghost-themed supernatural anime that doesn't overcomplicate anything, nor does it keep it to the same stale rhythm for the entirety of the series. The show revolves around Yakumo, who you'll see take on certain cases that are out of the ordinary for the police to comprehend. I can imagine some of you may be thinking, what separates this anime from the rest of the other detective-like anime that's out there? Well, what I found interesting was how the plot was well written and ultimately resolved itself case after case. I was even more pleased with how characters got their own exposition and how more or less all questions got answered and didn't leave the audience hanging. Even at the end, I was fully aware that there was still more to the story, but it wasn't left at a flat note where the audience would have to pursue onto the novel to find out what happens next at where the anime left it at, as the anime managed to conclude the show for the time being. The show managed to successfully get you engrossed into the mystery, and once solved, that's it. The show then moves forward instead of always going back and forth. forth. And that's why I recommend Shinrei Tantai Yakumo very so much, as it didn't get too lost in its supernatural nature, where the foundation isn't lost, where we have a college student who goes around putting ghosts at ease just by talking things out. This is why I love Yakumo. Many anime seriously need to take influence from it to execute or even consider ending an anime as it is, instead of leaving it at a cliffhanger with the small possibility of a season 2 given its niche appeal. I hope you found at least one show that tickled your fancy. If not, let me know down below some of your favourite supernatural anime, and heck, even I will consider checking out your suggestions. Please slap on that like button before you depart, and here are the rest of the parts to my top supernatural anime.